Today, as we begin our deliberations of these impeachment complaints, no less than against the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Teresita Leonardo de Castro, together with the 6 Associate Justice, namely Lucas Bersamin, Alexander Esmundo, Francis Ardilesa, Diosdado Peralta, Andres Reyes, and Noel Tiham. My dear colleagues and my dear members of this committee, I know you are all apprised of the situation now in this country. The filing of the impeachment proceedings that we have right now, although to be dealt with independent judgment of the members of the committee, may again request that we should be reminded with the following tenets in dealing with impeachment complaints. Number one, the impeachment proceeding is actually a sacred process under the Constitution to ensure public accountability and should not be treated just like filing an administrative complaint. Second, while the truth and justice are the primordial consideration in disposing of these impeachment complaints, we should also be reminded that the integrity and stability of the major institutions that we have right now should be given with equal significance of consideration. Third, while the impeachment complaint can be regarded as politically or political in nature, this should not be and must not be a political circus. And lastly, while this impeachment complaint is actually anchored on serious and exclusive offenses, this should not be treated to be the only tool to remove a public official because the ideals of those impeachable officers do not align with the ideals of the complaining parties or the impeaching authorities. The implications of the proceeding that we're having right now definitely would be far-reaching. For example, if the 7 justices would be removed and turn out to have committed impeachable offenses, half of the membership of the Supreme Court would be empty. And definitely, half of them, as they say, would be called as designated survivors. But nonetheless, the complainants should not worry. Because while those things or statements are being said, we likewise also recognize the fact that the impeachment proceeding forms part, as an integral part, of the Constitution with respect to doctrine of check and balance. Thus, for all members that we have right now, may we remind everyone to observe the sanctity of this impeachment proceeding. I encourage everyone to observe the highest standards of discernment in performing our constitutional duty to determine whether these complaints are actually factual, legal, and sufficient in form and substance. And if I may say, I would like to repeat endlessly that this committee would treat your administrative or impeachment complaints with utmost transparency and of course with utmost impartiality.